In this video, we're going to talk about quantifiers and how to go about speeding up your estimating with the use of quantifiers. Right now we're in bedroom 1 and we're in the main estimate screen, the tasks screen. And the first thing I want to do is take you over to the dimensions screen for bedroom 1. And I want to show you, let's just go to the Show Calcs button. Let's talk a little bit about the quantifier code. You see here for bedroom 1 it's showing the square footage of walls is 344 square feet. Same thing for ceiling, 115, and it has a quantifier code here. W for ceiling, W for walls, C for ceiling. We have WC for walls and ceiling, F for floor. Okay, you can use any of these codes in here instead of writing a number down. So instead of writing 344 out and doing the math, iScope's going to do the math for you. So all you have to do is type in the code W. And most of the line items already come with a code, a quantifier code built into them. So when you pull them in from the price list, let's say you were going to paint the walls, well, the quantifier code W is probably already in there. In fact, it is. And so if you wanted to change it to say only 100 square feet, you would need to replace the W with 100. And there's quite a few different quantifier codes for you to learn. This is a good place to come. Just remember where it is. It's once you're in a room, come to the Dimensions tab, go to the Show Calcs button, and it's going to show you right here what all of these mean. And this is really going to save you time. Let's go ahead and work with them a little bit. Let's go ahead and go back to the Tasks tab now. And right here under Remove Baseboard, you can see that the quantifier is PF. That stands for Perimeter of Floor. Another place you can come to see those codes is right here, next to adjacent to the quantifier field. You click this right here, and it's going to bring up that same menu that you saw in the dimensions area. So if you wanted to look up what what PF stood for, you just come right over here, and it's linear footage of floor perimeter. So perimeter of floor, that's what PF stands for. And so let's go ahead and go over here to the next one. PC, perimeter of ceiling, remove crown molding, replace crown molding. All right, so it's defaulted with PC. Remove and replace carpet, well, the default is F for floor. Some of them have actual numbers written into them. Okay, here's texture drywall walls, W. Replace insulation in the ceiling is C for ceiling. Okay, now you see this one here is kind of unique. It says PF and then a star 3. So perimeter floor times 3. Mask and prep for paint. So in this case, we're going to mask the bottom of the baseboard, the top of the baseboard, and we're going to mask the wall from the ceiling. So we're going to do around the entire room 3 times. So you can change that, though. If you only wanted to do it once, then you would just eliminate this times 3, and you see the quantity of 129 is going to change to 43. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go ahead and click on that. Now this is really where you want to make those changes most of the time. Where I just made that change, I need to show you that. I haven't shown you the change quantity button yet, but when you double click, you're going to be able to make that change right here. PF times, let's say 2 this time. Press OK, and there you have it. Okay. Now instead of double clicking a line item and going over here and changing it, you can single click a line item. So if you want to single click it, then you can come up to this change quantity field, and let's say we wanted to change this from C for ceiling to 125 square feet. Then you just press OK and it changes it. Now the reason I put this up here isn't so that it would just save you from making a double click and just save you 1 click. I made this field because I wanted to give you a place to change multiple line items all at one time. So let's say that from replace ceiling insulation all the way to paint ceiling, you knew the value wasn't C for ceiling, it was really going to be 125. So what you would want to do is, in this case, I'm going to hold down my shift key and highlight all of them at once, or you could just click one and hold down your control key and click them one at a time. Either way. And then you can come up here and type in 125, press OK, and it changes all of them to 125 at one time. Now, this is a little feature that a lot of you have been waiting for a long time in some of the other estimating packages that you've been using. I mean, when you come over to, say, remove and replace baseboard, seal, paint, you know, when you're having to change all those at one time, you know, 35. Press OK, and they all get changed at once. That saves you a lot of time from having to sit and, you know, click on each line item, make the change, click on another line item, make the change. And so this is a real time saver up here. I want to show you some other uses for those codes. You can do a lot of math with those. Remove and replace baseboard. Sometimes you're in a vanity or something, instead of perimeter of floor, because there's cabinets and stuff there's just no baseboard there. But about half the room has baseboard, so you can put in divided by 2, press OK, and it gives you half of the baseboard in the room. There's other ways that you can work with. Let me go ahead and find one here. Replace drywall wall. Okay, so let's say that you were replacing the drywall in a room that had been affected by a flood and you wanted to replace it 4 feet up. Well, you could just come over here and type in PF times 4. So perimeter of floor times 4 feet up. Press OK, and that's it. Okay, now this is the last part I want to show you on this video, and it's a little bit advanced. It's something that probably most of you are not going to use, but the few who do use it are going to be really glad I created it. Now, let me go ahead and show this to you. Like I said, it's a little bit advanced as far as you know, estimating goes. So if you're not comfortable with this, just don't listen to it. Here we go. We're starting out with replace insulation in walls. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do in these 4 line items. We're going to work on these 4. So replace in, let's say that we have a loss where we're going to replace the exterior wall, okay, and or 100 square feet of that exterior wall. And so we're replacing some insulation, replacing some drywall, okay. And then over here, we're going to scrape the remaining wall texture. Now, we can't just put W in there for walls because we don't want to scrape something that we've already removed and replaced. Okay, so if we're removing this 100 here, we want to remove the 100 from over here. So we want to put W minus 100. But that takes us having to excuse that. That takes us having to physically write W minus 100, because in each room, you know, if we had 10 bedrooms and we're replacing the exterior wall only on each one, then we're going to have to physically go in here and write that down and remove it. Yeah, so I'd have to, in one room I'd be W minus 100. In the next room I might be W minus 50. Okay, well I've tried to create a way to kind of streamline that process. So then over here, obviously, we're going to texture all of it. Okay, so we're going to remove 100 in these 2, take 100 from the scrape because we're not going to have to scrape it, and then we're going to texture all the walls. So the way I'm going to create a shortcut for this is I'm going to assign, say this one, a code. Now I'm going to do that by double-clicking the line item. I'm going to come over here to this, save this quantity result for use in other items. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to create a code that we could remember. So this is, I've already done a few of them over here, but this is insulation for walls, so a natural code, and we're going to have to put these in brackets. Here's an open bracket, INSW would be pretty obvious, and I've already got that one, so I'm going to use something else. How about WINS for walls insulation? So open WINS, close bracket. I'm going to click Add, and there I have it. Now, whenever I type in open bracket, WINS, close bracket, it's going to know that that's the quantity that it needs to add in for that line item. So let's go over here for replace insulation walls, okay? And then we go to the next item, replace half-inch drywall. So instead of 100, I'm going to put open bracket, WINS, close bracket. Press OK, and guess what? It's still 100. Now watch what happens. This is the interesting part. When I change this one right here, and I change it to, say, 200, this is also going to change to 200. You see that? Because what this WINS does is it's saying whatever quantity replace insulation walls is also the quantity that I'm going to give this line item. Now, where that helps us for this scrape wall texture is that I can come over here and put W minus, open bracket, WINS, close bracket, press OK, and you see right there it's walls minus 200. So here's the walls, 344 minus 200 equals 144. Okay, that would be a lot of work to go through if you weren't going to use it in a macro. Okay, so let's go ahead and create. I'm going to show you macro creation later, but I'm going to go ahead and do it right now anyway. But I'm going to give you a much better tutorial on macro creation. Save as a macro. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to put it in the general default macro. Just put it in wall test. Okay, so then I would come over here to master bathroom. Okay, I would hit the F1 key to get the macro started. Default WT for wall test, and there you have it. And so at this point, it's going to go ahead and it's going to know exactly how much to take out. All I have to do is click on this first line item. I'm going to tell it 125 for this room, and it's going to automatically do the calculations for me. Now that's going to confuse a whole lot of you, and so for the people that have been using estimating software for a long time and who deal with this nhưng a lot, this is going to be a real lifesaver. But for most of you, you're never going to use it. Just forget you saw it. But that is how you go about doing that. Okay, I wanted to add that. I've been wanting to have that feature for my own use for so long, and I'm really proud of the feature. And I hope a lot of you will end up using it. That's pretty much all I have for this video, but we're going to be talking a whole lot more about a whole lot of other stuff, so please keep watching.